The identity of skeletal remains which were discovered in the heights of Emsal may be revealed soon. Deputy Police Chief Cyril Carrette told a press conference recently that samples of the remains will be sent to the Mona Forensic Lab in Mona, Jamaica to be analyzed in order to obtain identification shortly.
We are vigorously pursuing the identity of the person, and shortly we are going to be getting the samples to send to the Mona Forensic Lab at the University of the West Indies in Jamaica, where they will do the identity for us. So that should happen shortly. We are receiving technical support from the region, because it's going to span from Dominica, Barbados, Jamaica, and the U.S. Embassy is still seeking support for us as well, because we need other assistance that we do not have in the Caribbean as well.
Deputy Police Chief Cyril Carrette. The Barbados Nation newspaper had reported that police suspected the bones were that of 23-year-old Corey Porion of St. Lucie, Barbados. According to the paper's report, the young man went missing from the country since last year. Porion is believed to have been the victim of a gruesome killing by a Dominican involved in a satanic ritual. The Global School-Based Student Health Survey for Dominica in 2009 revealed that there were higher reported rates of sexual activities among boys. Representative of the United Nations Development Fund for Women, Cherise Adoja, made the disclosure at a roundtable discussion held in Dominica recently.
The Global School-Based Student Health Survey for Dominica in 2009, which provides data on health behaviors and protective factors among students, revealed that there were higher reported rates of sexual activity among boys. However, among the students who had ever had sexual intercourse, the percentage who had sexual intercourse for the first time before age 14 was 75.5%. For boys, that was at 85.1%, and for girls, 60.3%. Alcohol use was prevalent among boys and increasing among girls. And among the students who had ever had a drink of alcohol other than a few sips, the percentage who had their first drink before age 14 was 88.4%. For boys, it was at 88.8%, and girls, 87.9%. The percentage of students who had drank at least one drink containing alcohol on one or more of the past 30 days was at 54.5%, with boys at 54.9% and girls at 54%. Significant percentage of students who had ever seriously considered attempting suicide, and in the past 12 months of the students interviewed, it was at 20.6%. with girls at 25.2% and boys at 16.1%.
Meantime, the report indicated that the percentage of students who attempted suicide one or more times during the past 12 months was 15.3%. Meantime, National HIV/AIDS Coordinator Judy Frampton says there is a need to continue to advocate for teachers to be trained in the area of sex.
What we noticed last year at the training, especially with the teachers, that people had to come to a certain comfort level, you know, to be able to deal with sexuality issues in their health and family life sessions, or even with direct one-on-one counseling with students. So the need, therefore, is there, and it's great that we continue to, for want of a better expression, campaign or advocate for teachers to be trained continuously, so we can see a change of mindset. And even our healthcare workers, some people are very uncomfortable talking, or we may even want to change people's perspective of how they think when we serve them. So it is therefore critical that we continue to do what we are doing to ensure that we save our young people in terms of their rights to health, their rights to whatever it is.
Dominicans have been encouraged to explore their building practices to ensure quality water for human consumption. General Manager of the WASCO, Bernard Etinoff, told the stakeholders consultation here that building practices must be considered and a conscious effort must be made to minimize the negative impact on the environment.
Recent happenings here, like for example the recent drought, clearly pointed to the fact that the resources are very vulnerable and every effort must be made to take care of it. The problems being encountered with some of our water systems are no secret to any Dominican or visitors to Dominica. Many of these problems stem from landslides and the washing of debris into the intakes, causing severe siltation and resulting in a water quality that is unfit for human consumption due to the high levels of turbidity that we experience. These adverse impacts are further contributed to by our development practices, where we choose to fell trees, where we choose to build our homes or engage in agricultural or other practices, and the manner in which we undertake those activities. These are things that need to be considered and a conscious effort made to minimize the negative impacts on the environment. We recognize the fact that we have lots of rivers, lots of water, but we are also mindful of the fact that some of these rivers appear to be diminishing. It would appear that the volumes that existed several years ago are no longer here with us today. Our water resources are not the same, at least not from the naked eyes. This is more noticeable, however, during the dry season, when many communities suffer from reduced volumes of water, resulting in water outages, water shortages at times. We need to investigate the causes of these and take the necessary steps to minimize any human error that may be contributing to this undesirable situation and resulting in reduced volumes of water availability.
The WASCO's General Manager, Bernard Etinoff. With just 2 weeks away from the start of the hurricane season, Dominicans have been told to be prepared. According to recent reports, Caribbean countries can expect an above-average 2010 Atlantic hurricane with a 58% chance of a major hurricane affecting the region. Reports indicate there could be up to 15 named storms.
Well, like we always tell persons, they need to be prepared. It's something we have to go through every year, and some people really look at the forecast and think, and then they say, okay, it's not going to be very active this year, so I can drop my guard. No, we want persons to know that we're going into the hurricane season. You have to prepare, because we could be dealing with a very active season and not be affected by any storm. And another year we could be dealing with a season that is not very active and we just get one storm affecting us, and it could be a disaster for us. So we have to go for the normal drills, put things in place for the upcoming hurricane season, and we expect persons to do that. Well, those are predictions, and as I previously said, that the forecast is one thing, the reality is another. I think that we don't have to wait for those predictions or those forecasts. We know that we have a hurricane season every year. Every year we just have to do what we need to do and be prepared for any eventuality. The most important thing is, how do you really mitigate against disasters, and how prepared are you? If you're not prepared, you may have something that is not very intense, and it may affect you significantly, while you may have a very strong storm, and if you're prepared, you'll be able to manage a lot better. So preparation is a key, and we always urge persons to be prepared for these eventualities.
National Disaster Preparedness Coordinator Nathaniel Isaac.